Hello, this is my writing about poetry video. And writing about poetry just analyzes the writer's craft and voice in terms of technical aspects. And in the book, they use the example Lee Young Lee's Eating Alone. And in the poem, she's sad at first, but once you keep reading, you start to understand the structure of the poem. And so I chose My Mistress' Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun by William Shakespeare because in the poem he seems to be rude and like not talking very highly of his mistress. And in reality, he was just saying that she's a normal person. She's just a human. She's not a goddess or anything above ordinary. And my first supporting detail would be summarizing the poem. And all that is like you just summarize and understand what the poem's saying. So I'm going to use the same examples that I just used from the book. They're saying that Lee Young Lee's poem, Eating Alone, you just have to understand what she's saying. You just have to figure out the structure of the poem. Same goes for My Mistress' Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun. Once you figure out what he's saying, the poem makes a lot more sense and it's a lot more fun to read. My next major supporting detail would be analyzing the poem's craft. And it's just where we need to find how language pushes and pulls the literal meaning of the poem. So like what the writer did to that poem. And so the example from the book is The Clustering into Threes, Begotten, Born, and Dies from Yeats' Sailing to Byzantium. And so my example that I used was from Funeral Blues by W.H. Auden. And he uses the rhyming words doves and gloves. He says, put crept bows round the white necks of the public doves. Let the traffic policemen wear black gloves. And my next major supporting detail would be analyzing the poem's voice. So that's just saying like who is the speaker, why did the speaker tell this story, and why does he say it the way that he does. And the book uses in Lee Young Lee's Eating Together, he creates a character who finds fulfillment in a family meal. So in my example, I used The Fish by Elizabeth Bishop. And they're just telling how someone is excited because they caught a tremendous fish and they just want everyone to know about this tremendous fish and everything about it. And my last major supporting detail would be interpreting the poem. And it's just your version of the poem, the way you understand the poem. So in Eating Alone, they just made it to where they could understand it. They did their interpretation of that poem in the book. And my example, like I obviously didn't do like a full drawn out interpretation, but I chose to do I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by Williams Wordsworth. And like my interpretation is just that I'm just guessing it's a she, was lonely, but as she experienced all of her surroundings, she realized that she was not lonely after all, and that she was filled with a lot of pleasure, that everything around her is just so exciting and breathtaking. There's really no being alone. So that is my writing about poetry video.